welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours too. So today is the first day of our Green Belt Level Up program. So get your dice out and let's get practicing. Just so you know, I just released yesterday the Greenbelt video. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't watched it yet, make sure you get out and watch it. It has the complete Greenbelt program on one video. And that video is going to be supplemented by all the level up videos here. So I covered 99% of the stuff in that video. And then I'm going to have you guys go through the live sessions and we're going to cover the rest of the stuff. So we're going to start off. I'm going to assume that you've done your white belt stretches and warm-ups. So get your wrists all stretched out and the blood flowing in your fingers and ready to go. Then we're going to go with 5 dice grips. Just keep in mind, guys, that the green belt here is 20 sessions long. So we're going to go with 5 dice grips. We're just going to get into our dice set, our dice grip 5 times, just to keep it fresh, to keep it going, keep it working for us. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, you set it down, you start it over again. And let's do one more for good measures. So that's our 5 dice grips. And then we're going to go with dice manipulation drills today. So we're just going to take one die and we're going to try to manipulate it here and try to get it, our fingers working decent, just spinning right, spinning left, rotating forward, rotating back. And we would use this when we're trying to set the dice on a table, and we'll go right and left. And you could do the manipulating this way in between the 2 fingers and just spinning. Remember, the opposite sides of the dice total up to 7, so we got a 4 on that side, we have a 3 on that side, we'd have a 1 and a 6, 5 and a 2. So, morning, Chris. So anyhow, just doing just some really quick manipulation drills. So once you guys get that down, we're going to move on to just throwing down the table with our barrel dice. And again, this is just a quick review. Today is, Chris, the first day of our green belt level. If you haven't seen the video already, make sure you go out and see the complete green belt video. I put that out yesterday. And we're just going to go with our barrel dice, just throwing it down 5 times. And we're just going to try to throw it down straight and hit it into the wall. And I got to turn the laser on because this is part of the green belt now. So we're going to try to hit it down and try to hit the laser level light at the end of the table. That was a little bit to the right. And even though we did this on our orange belt level, guys, we're still going to be following up. We're still going to be reviewing as we go forward in the series all the stuff that we covered in the past. Reason being is we want to stay fresh. You want to stay caught up on everything. And you want to make sure that you commit this to muscle memory to make it a constant. The green belt is going to be focusing on breathing techniques, guys. It's going to be focusing on delivering the dice down to the end of the table with minimal energy stored in it. And it's also going to be focusing on the landing zone. So those are going to be the additions that we're doing for the green belt level. And as we go through, like I said, this green belt level is a minimum of 20 sessions. So it's going to be a little bit longer than what the white, yellow, and orange was. So in the white belt, the yellow belt, and the orange belt, we did 2 weeks worth of streams. This is going to be at least 3 weeks worth of streams. And then we're going to go to the regular dice here, and we'll do the same thing with the regular dice. Set the 5-4-5-4 hardware set. Get into your dice grip. And we're just going to throw it down to the end of the table. Try to hit it right on where that laser light is at. And we're trying to get them to rest as close as we can to that back wall with minimal energy. Forgot where I was. So the hard hat award was awarded the other day to a very, very, very deserving person. Jeff Mid-Atlantic Craps earned it. I know I mentioned it last week in my Level Up live stream that I was on the list, but Jeff and Big AZ were going neck and neck the whole week. Jeff won the first one. So what he's going to do is it's going to be delivered to him by John at Pro Craps. And Jeff is going to sign it. He's going to keep it on his table for about a month. And next month, the next person will be will be chosen. And that'll be sent over to them. They will sign that. And I guess what they're going to do is throughout the year, they're going to have a different winner every month. And they're going to have it all signed by everybody. And then at the end of the year, they're going to donate it towards the Craps for a Cure event that John at Casino Gaming and Pro Craps puts on. And we're going to try to raise money for a benefit of some sorts. I'm not exactly sure who is going to be the benefit for this coming year. But it's something kind of neat. A little Craps memorabilia, if you will. So pretty cool. So let's go one more here and then we'll move on to the next section. And I am throwing thus far pretty straight here, guys. It's hitting down at the end of the table. The dice are settling in really nice. And they're landing right by that laser level light. Which, by the way, I'm using the funds that I'm making from the videos here on new equipment. And that is one thing that'll hopefully be here tomorrow night sometime is a new laser level. The one that I currently have, I dropped a while back, so it's all taped together and it's not in the best of shape. So we have a new laser level coming in, and I'm gonna have to show you guys. If it is what I think I ordered, it looks pretty darn cool. We're gonna get out the throwing height tool. We got 5 dice tosses with the barrel dice, and with 5 with the regular dice. And this should be the end of the review, and then we'll be moving on to the next stuff, the green belt stuff. So again, with this, we have the laser level out, we have the string out. The string, again, for everybody, is 56 inches from the floor, or 4 foot 8 inches from the floor. And the goal here is just to get the dice to just clear that string and to land right by that laser level light. If you guys can see that on the stick here. I think that was 3 or 4. Let's just do one more here and we'll move on to the regular dice. So that greenbelt video, talking about behind the scenes type stuff, the video is actually 15 minutes long. But I had, between filming and editing and uploading all that stuff, I have a little over 11 hours into that video. So hopefully you guys appreciate the quality of it. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to increase the professionalism of the videos. That was the second video that I did that involved a green screen. That was a really nice toss. Ended up with a hard 10, 5-5. Second video I ever did with a green screen, so I'm trying to play around with that a little bit. I think it turned out pretty cool. Make sure you guys leave comments in the video, though. Let me know what you think. That was way off to the left, but the dice did end or die at the end of the table here. It looked like the left dice split off, though, once it landed. And we'll do this as the last one here. And that was a perfect toss, guys. One dice is up tight against the wall. The other one's only about 2 inches off, and they're both right in line with that laser level. So that was a nice toss. And that's what our goal was for that part of the training. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the green belt stuff. The first thing we want to do is we want to talk about concentrate on breathing. During the craps chat the other day, I did a kind of an informal survey with the panelists, and we're talking about breathing. What is important for breathing as far as the dice throwing is concerned? Do you breathe out when you shoot? Do you hold your breath? Do you breathe in? What most people do? What is the best way to do it? And my first answer is going to be do whatever is best for you, whatever is most comfortable for you, because we got a little bit of all the different answers. But I think the general consensus for the most part was to breathe out, get all the air out of your lungs, hold your breath for a split second, and then you would toss the dice or throw the dice from that point. Now, one of the things that we're doing in the green belt is we're trying to get the dice down to the end of the table using the least amount of stored energy in the dice. And in my opinion, if you're breathing out while you're throwing the dice, that's actually expelling that energy out through your body, out through the dice. And that is one of the things we are trying not to do, which is why if you can breathe out and hold your breath for a split second in a comfort state, in a relaxed state, you should be able to toss the dice down the table and have them land and keep that energy out of the dice, which is what our biggest thing is. We're in Navaldo. So anyhow, let's move on. We're going to go on with a drill called George Distance Drill. And what George does is he talks about, and we're talking about George from CY, he came up with a little drill where you stand about 10 inches away from this far wall. And what you're going to do is you're going to get into your dice grip, and all you're going to do is you're just going to gently throw the dice up against the wall. Now, we're only 10 inches away, so this is not a very difficult thing to hit the wall. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the dice to touch the wall with very little energy, if at all. So in other words, we're going to try to touch them and try to get them to land right at the wall. And we're going to do this 3 to 10 times every single time that we go through the green belt level. Once you get that down consistent, what you're going to do is you're going to go, and right now, by the way, I'm in about stick right 3 position, so I'm almost in that hook. Once you get that down 3 to 10 times, you're just going to take 1 step over, and then we're going to go from stick right 2 position. And we're just going to repeat the same thing. And the theory of this, guys, is that we're trying to work our way a little bit away from the table from the end of the table after every couple throws. And we can hopefully get that muscle memory in, and we can hopefully judge the distance to the opposite wall a little bit better. And if we can get that energy to a minimal in the dice from each of the positions, hopefully the further away we get, we should be able to do the same thing. Okay, so that was stick left 2. Let's go to stick right 2. Let's go to stick right 1, and I would repeat the same drill here. And for me, I find it easier to be a little bit further away from the wall to get the desired results. But this is where dice sensitivity comes in. This is where we're going to be training our body to react to the different conditions in the table, different distances, different everything. And we need to be able to develop that sensitivity in our throws, in our dice grips, in our everything. So that way it becomes constant, it becomes a habit. So we're going to go to stick left 1 now, and we're going to do the same thing. So we went from stick right 3 to stick right 2 to stick right 1, now to stick left 1. And you can see that there's a definite difference in the distancing, and that's stuff that we are going to have to work to adjust so we can decrease the amount of stored energy in the dice. So again, we're going to go 3 to 10 times at each position. And just toss it down there. So that's our George distance drill. And hey, as long as we're talking about George, let's go over to George's corner and see what George has to talk about today. So George is talking about landing zones in today's session. And he goes, landing the dice in the same general area should become a constant in your toss. In general, there are 3 landing zones on the table. You have the center, right hook, and left hook. And depending on where you shoot, from stick left, stick right, or straight out from the end, you'll be able to choose which landing area yields the best results for you. And he goes, take me for example, and me being George. I'm a stick left shooter using my right arm. I use 2 different landing zones for 3 different dice set families. In particular, I like to shoot towards the center with my V set, cross sixes sets, and the right hook for my kissing sets and my hardways. The reason as to why I use those is interesting. I have found out that when my dice interact with a side wall, like if I send my dice to the right hook, one of my dice ends up imploding or exploding, taking it off axis. So I don't mind using it with the hardways or the kissing sets, as if one die is off axis on these families of sets, then the result cannot be a 7. On the contrary, if I use the cross sixes or V sets, one die off axis contains most of the 7s that anyone can find on the V sets and the cross sixes. Therefore, I try to keep my sidewall involvement to a minimal, if not to eliminate it. So George is talking about the different landing zones. In the green belt level here, we're going to be talking about landing zones as well. And we're going to be training, again, I'm throwing from stick left 1, and we're going to be training to go shoot down the table so it's straight in line with your toss. And if you guys can see the laser level light down at the end of the table here, if you guys go through one of my landing zone video, I show how to make these targets. And what it is just a piece of my table felt here, leftover remnants that I cut into several different circles. This is a 6-inch circle that we're going to be putting down today. And I'm going to be positioning it so the edge of the circle is about 1 inch from the edge of the table. And it's centered on that laser light. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be using our dice to shoot down towards that 6-inch circle. And this is going to be at least 4 of the level up episodes. And each day that we practice, we're going to try to do 20 to 50 throws. And our goal is to try to get them to land inside that circle or very close to the circle, and to land with very minimal energy in the dice, so that way they don't shoot, bounce off and go in massive different directions. We'll go with the 5-4-5-4 hardware set. And let's see if I can improve my shooting today. So anyhow, we're going to get set up here. And all we're going to do is just going to throw the dice down and get them to land approximately where that circle is at. Now I landed just off to the right of it. One dice is almost on top of the circle. One's just bounced off right in front of it. I ended up with a hard 2, so both dice stayed on axis. hard 4, I mean, the 2-2. And like I said, we're going to go through today. I'm not going to do 20 to 50 on camera, but I will do the remainder of my throws after I get done with the live stream. So we're going to go through a few of them today here. And there's a couple different ways we can do this. We can either do it 1 dice at a time, or 2 dice at a time here, just throwing it down and going back and retrieving. Or, so you don't have to go back and forth, you could do a couple different dice. And that was a really good throw. Both landed on the target, and they both landed just off to the left side there. Let's grab 2 more dice here. 5, 4, 5, 4. Now it landed just in front of the target. So if you guys have never done anything like this, give it a try. You know, get your dice out, start practicing, start doing these drills. That one landed just in front of it. And the more we do these, the better our aim, the better our target practice should be. And, you know, targeting towards that landing zone. That was a good throw. They both landed on it. And once you start getting a rhythm down, a pattern down, they both landed a little early that time. Once you get a pattern down, guys, you should be able to pick different spots at the tables. And when we get further into the greenbelt level, towards the end of our greenbelt level, I'm going to show you guys how to use a little, it's a 9-square target actually that I made. And I put that in the greenbelt video, how I made that. And we're going to use that so we can judge different landing zones at the table. And in theory, what's going to happen with that is, that was a good toss. In theory, what's going to happen with that is when you get your ultimate landing zone down, the one that you're practicing at, that's going to be your go-to landing zone when you first get to the table. You want to make sure you get dialed in, do a couple throws at that landing zone area. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start switching the spot around 1 throw at a time to see if the particular table that you're at has a better landing zone than the one that you are used to. That was a little bit to the right. It was almost on distance, but just a little bit off to the right. A little short. So, guys, give this a try. It's a lot harder than it looks. I know George has a drill that he does where he actually puts a little jar down there. And I believe that Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters did the same thing. In fact, he had the jar challenge a while back where he challenged people to see how many dice you can get in the jar in a certain amount of throws, I believe it was. So check his videos out too. Very, very interesting stuff. So hopefully you guys can see this. Hopefully you guys get the idea down. And again, we're going to be doing this for the first 4 sessions here, guys. Once we get this down, we feel comfortable. We're hitting it pretty close most of the time. We're going to actually decrease the size of the circle. Today, we're using a 6-inch circle. The next size down is a 4.5-inch circle. And then the size underneath that is going to be a 3.5-inch circle. So, anyhow, hey guys, that's gonna be the end of the greenbelt stuff here today. Let's go through our homework for tomorrow or for today. What you want to do is you want to do your warm-ups and your stretches, and then you're going to go through 5 dice grip practices. You're going to go through your dice setting. Today we did our dice manipulation drill, so I want you to go through your dice manipulation drills just for about a minute or so. And then you're going to go throwing straight. You're going to get that laser leveled, throw straight down the table using the barrel dice. You're going to do that 5 times. More than or no. And then you're going to go through with the regular dice, do that 5 times using your 5-4-5-4 hardway set. After you're done with that, you're going to go get that throwing height tool out again with the laser level yet. and you're going to throw it straight down a table with the barrel dice 5 times, go back to the regular dice 5-4 hardware set 5 times, and then we're going to go to the green belt stuff. Green belt stuff, we're going to start with the George distance drill. Remember, we have 3 to 10 throws to the back wall from each position. So we're going to go stick right 3, stick right 2, stick right 1, and then stick left 1. Once you get that down, you're going to go through your 6-inch landing zone. So that way you're going to actually do the dice with the 6-inch level, or 6-inch circle. Again, you're going to have 20 to 50 of those throws. But anyhow, hey guys, thanks for joining along. Make sure you get your practice in before tomorrow's session, and I wish you the best of luck. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours too.